Hello there, welcome to MSN Meets. It's very exciting today because we're joined by Bilbo Baggins. Yes, Martin Freeman.
Hello.
Hello there. And this is ahead of the release of this film.
Yes, The Hobbit.
Desolation of Smaug. How do you
Smaug.
say it? Smaug. I know.
Smaug, yeah. Everyone says Smaug in their head, but we've decided it's going to be Smaug.
Smaug.
Just to be difficult. Yeah.
Okay. Are you nervous about this interview?
No, I don't think I've ever been happier.
Good.
Yes, that's true. Yeah,
that's good. I could see that. Someone did tell you to say
yeah,
that, and it's working a treat.
Yeah, it's
brilliant.
Good. Yeah.
It's so exciting to chat to you as well because the film is epic.
Thank you.
I saw it 2 nights ago.
Yes.
And it does kind of have you on the edge of your seat like that.
Good. Yeah, I hope
Admittedly,
so.
I had a big head in front of me when I was watching, so I was like that.
Yeah, it has
like
you on the side of your seat as well. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Can we show everyone a clip?
Please do, yeah.
Okay, have a look at this.
Thank you.
Just amazing.
It's just your average everyday Mike Leigh film.
Oh my goodness, with a lot of running.
With a lot of running, yeah.
I've got to say, and for, a person with small little legs, like a Hobbit, that's twice as far as everyone else.
It's really far. I'm basically the Dachshund of Middle-earth.
I know.
You've got to cover a lot more ground with these little fellas.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, you burnt a lot of calories making the movie then, obviously.
Yes.
Are you ready? Do you feel armed to answer some superfan questions?
Please.
Okay, look at this.
Hello.
These are your fans. We have found people that are deeply keen to chat to you.
How lovely.
So if it's all right with you, I've decided who we'd start with.
Please do.
Okay, so Mariam, let's go to her and see what she has to ask you. Have a look.
Okay.
Oh, hello. I was just reading The Hobbit. It's a shame I have to stop now, because every time I put that book away, I'll miss that place. So my question for you, Martin, is what will you miss most about Middle-earth and why?
Good question, Mariam. When I've done a couple of premieres, like in LA and Berlin, and what I was really reminded of was the camaraderie that we had in New Zealand for the long time of making this. But from start to finish was 2.5 years, including breaks and all that. But 2.5 years spending your life with roughly the same people. You're reminded when you haven't seen them for a few months that there was a real special bond there, and I made proper friends, and so I think that's what I miss. I say I miss it, but it's nice to go back to it. Actually, I wouldn't want to live with those people again.
No, because you know their bad sides.
I know their bad sides, and they know mine. But when you meet up with them after a while, it's a real pleasure.
So on Lord of the Rings, they all went out and had tattoos done to kind of mark the end of filming. Did you do something similar for The Hobbit?
Not really. I think because they'd beaten us to that, really. I think if we'd got tattoos or done a kind of group thing like that, it just would have been a sad echo of what they'd done 10 years before. So, no, we just bonded in other ways, some of them legal. So, yeah.
Oh, my mind is wandering. I'm disappointed though, because I did want a Hobbit foot tattoo on your right butt cheek or something like that.
You can imagine that.
Thank
if you want.
Thank you.
I'm not going to stop you.
Perfect. Would you like to choose your next caller?
I'll have a go at that Chi in China. Please?
Yes, Chi in China. Now, just be prepared. She has a doll of you.
Brilliant.
Okay.
Hello, Martin. I'm a fan from China. First, I want to thank you for your brilliant Bilbo, who really gives me a lot of courage and inspiration. Here's my question. And we will see Bilbo's evolution in the second and the third movie. He is definitely not the same Hobbit as when he left home. And I'm wondering that, have you found any evolution in yourselves that in some way or in some part you are not the same person or not the same actor before working with Sir Peter and other cast members?
I love that question.
Yes, good question.
I think she's actually asking if you've become really showbiz and diva-ish.
Yeah. I think probably what I may have learned or how I may have changed is probably too early to say. I think it's the kind of thing, like, when you go through a sort of major part of your life, you only really know in about 5 years how that affected you. And I think I'll know probably in about 2017. But at the moment, I was just very glad. I can say that I am very glad to have done it. I don't know how it would have changed me.
Have you become a bit more, savvy about you're like a leading man, a massive film star. Does it change your approach to the way you kind of guard your private life? Do you?
No, it doesn't actually, because I've always been very guarding of that. I mean, regardless, before The Hobbit, I always knew that my private life is mine. Do you know what I mean? Like, this stuff is for you all, but you know, my private life has to be mine, otherwise you lose it. No, I don't think I've changed. I think my interests are still the same, and I think the way I view the world is probably still the same.
Okay, all right, that's good to know. Good to know. Next question, who do you want?
I would quite like... Jen from the USA looks fun.
You're so scared of the Muppet, aren't you? I can see you go, no, we're going to leave right. Okay, let's have Jen then.
Okay.
Hi Martin, big Hobbit fan here. My friend and I drove 17 hours just to see you and your Amanda in LA, so thank you. I just wanted to know, is there anything that you learned from Bilbo after filming that you took with you and maybe applied to your life now?
She drove 17 hours to see you and your wife.
It's funny, Americans do that sort of thing in a way that we don't. I mean, travelling 17 hours to do almost anything is unheard of.
Well, if we travelled 17 hours from London, we'd be quite far away.
We'd be a long way away. Yeah, they're still in the same country. I suppose that's similar to Chi's question about, you know, what I took away from that or how it might have informed me. I like Bilbo's bravery and I like Bilbo's decency. I don't know. You never know how brave you are, really, until push comes to shove. I like to think I'd be brave and I like to think I'd do the right thing.
Okay, well, I tell you what, let's have a little look at Bilbo in action and maybe that will give you some ideas.
Okay.
You've changed, Bilbo Baggins. You're not the same Hobbit as the one who left the Shire.
I was going to tell you. I found something in the Goblin Tunnels.
Found what? What did you find?
My courage.
Good, well, that's good. You need it.
There's something almost Panto-like about that, and I want to go, don't do it!
Yeah.
Don't pull out. And also there's another scene, you know, where he's going to put the ring on, or he could, and he doesn't. And you're like, put it on, be invisible.
Because the ring, even though it gives you the great thing of invisibility, it takes it out of you putting the ring on. You know, it's like, I liken it to having a sort of nauseous migraine. You know, so it's not an easy thing to put on. It costs you something. Yeah, you get invisibility, but what it requires of you is something actually quite unpleasant to go through.
Yeah, no, fair enough, because I would be putting that on quite a lot.
Well, you would until you kept vomiting.
Right, is that what happened every time you put it on?
Literally throw in your ring.
Oh my, oh, no, lovely. Such a nice thought.
Yeah.
Your hair, can I just talk? Was that a wig or did you grow it?
Well, I don't know.
Oh.
I like that. Do you know what? I'm gonna decide. I'm deciding now. I'm gonna leave a little bit of mystery.
Oh, thank you.
Because here's the thing. As a viewer, I'm answering so many questions. Not here, but I have been answering so many questions about the cheated aspects of it. I kind of like the idea that 50 years ago, people didn't want to know or weren't so keen to feed that thing of, oh, you're just going to know everything. I like a bit of mystery. If you want to think that's my hair, I fully agree.
Well, I automatically believed it was your ears. Yeah. So
yeah. My real ears aren't that far off, unfortunately. I've had a few people going, I really like that Hobbit nose. I was like, well, that's my nose. I've got already a Hobbit nose.
The thing is, if it's 3 hours of makeup every morning.
Not for me.
Not for you.
Not for me. For the dwarfs, and other people with huge prosthetics. But no, for me it was like an hour and a quarter.
Oh, right, well, that's okay, because 3 hours for 2.5 years every day. You think, my goodness, just have surgery and save yourself.
I know.
Let's have another question. Who would you like?
Well, because you've said that, I'm going to go to Muppetto.
Oh, okay.
Is it Muppetto or Muppetto? Who knows?
Well, I quite like Muppetto.
Muppetto sounds like Geppetto.
And I will wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Here we go.
Martin, can you name all the dwarfs in Desolation of Smaug? Go.
Scares me. Imagine that is what he looks like all the time.
That was a good voice. It was not what I was expecting.
No, okay.
I was expecting an Ernie and Bert voice. Yeah. Actually wasn't. Yes, I can. Philly Killy, Ori Dori Nori, Oin Gloin, Biffa Bomba Bofa. Oh, come on now. Thorin, Abbott and Costello.
It does sound, doesn't it? I've got to say, I'm very impressed. And I had no idea Abbott and Costello were in there as well.
They were, if you look carefully enough, yeah.
Does it make you think if maybe when he was writing these books, he just went, you know what?
That rhymes.
That's kind of good.
Yeah, fine. Yeah,
that
I think
works
so,
for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, the first time I read it, I remember thinking, well, he is just literally rhyming everything. Yeah. Okay.
I studied this book when I was 11.
Did you?
11 at school.
Oh, what, at school, right, yeah. So did you read it like out of pleasure or as part of the curriculum?
Part of the curriculum.
Yeah.
No, I could just watch the movie.
Yes, you can. You've done the homework now.
So much easier.
Hobbit, yeah.
Exactly.
Why do authors bother?
I know, why do
They're
they
such
bother?
mugs.
I know, Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Don't need to read
Waste
that.
of time.
There's so many movies.
Yeah,
right, so who would you like to go to next?
Let's have a look at Vicky and Shell, please.
Okay, here we go.
Fighting trolls, slaying orcs, having a dwarf or bend your forks, adventures that can make you late. But what does Martin Freeman hate? So, what did you hate most when filming The Hobbit?
Does that happen a lot? People come up to you and just sing?
No, not everyone has that creativity, I have to say. They made an effort.
They did.
They wrote a song.
I know.
Thank you, ladies.
So what do you hate?
About filming The Hobbit, there's not much to hate about filming The Hobbit. I mean, any film, the hard bit, you know, the old adage is that, you know, you do the acting for free and you get paid for the waiting. So the waiting is always kind of hard. You know, if you're kind of revved up to do a scene and then for whatever number of, you know, there could be 100 possible reasons that there is a hold up.
The good thing is that you're in most of the scenes, so there's less waiting for you.
I'm in a lot of them, but there's an awful lot of stuff that I'm not in. You know, there is a lot of stuff I'm not in. And even when you are in, you can be held up for a reason or several. So the waiting is the hard bit, and that's the bit you kind of have to train yourself and get better at, I think, you know. I mean, as a younger actor, you sort of just want to spend all of your lunch break and every time just bouncing off the walls and being sociable. And after a few years, you go, no, you've got to pace yourself. You've got to kind of save your energy.
So do you go to your trailer and meditate?
Yeah, I don't meditate. But I watch films or listen to music or do emails and stuff. Or lie down. Lying down is a really good thing. I mean, sleep is a very good invention to recharge your batteries and just be resting.
Can I ask, if you're filming for that amount of time, and generally it has to look like it's the same season the whole time. So summer and winter are quite extreme differences in temperature. Did you hate being cold or extremely hot?
Yes.
Because in the same costume, sometimes if it's hot, that could get quite itchy or sweaty.
I think probably if you're overly hot, that's worse. Because if you've got your feet on, which create an awful lot of heat anyway, a wig, oh damn, I gave it away, it's not my real hair. But imagine if I were to wear a wig in a different film, that's very hot. Fairly thick corduroy, you know, corduroy pants as well, you know, pants in the American sense, not corduroy underpants.
That would be without I had a little glimpse into your life there.
Corduroy Y-fronts. You know, that does all get quite hot. I think if you're cold, you can at least layer up, or people can give you kind of, you know, pocket warmers or hand warmers or whatever. I think being overly hot and sweaty, that's a hard bit. Especially because there's a lot of action in this film. You know, when there's the big spider fight and stuff, you know, I remember schwitzing like a bugger on that one, because you just run around for 10 minutes in those feet, in the ears and the wig and everything. Damn, the wig. You know, you will really be dripping with sweat.
On the feet front, it said in the little bump that I got when I came out, 100 different feet you had.
Oh, at least. I mean, way more than 100.
What do you do? Do you wear your feet? It's all the running.
Well, because you have running you have pairs that are slightly more finessed for close-ups. You have pairs that are less finessed but stronger for wide shots. But also because it's very thin material, so it's easy to rip. You can sometimes rip them just when you're pulling them on. And certainly if you're standing on rocks and more rugged terrain, they will rip at some point.
Is it like a stocking?
Yeah, it is basically, yeah. It's a two-person job. So usually Heather and a glamorous assistant would pull them up. I'd sit in a chair like this and they would pull them up. They come up to sort of mid-thigh. And so you never know kind of where he ends and I begin, sort of thing.
See, now I really want to watch it again, just to stare at your feet and your legs. Yeah. We've got one more question. Shall we have a look?
Alexander from the UK, please.
Hi Martin, really enjoy the way you bring Bilbo Baggins to life. My question is, you like to talk to bad guys in The Hobbit, so I was wondering, who would you like to talk that is bad in The Lord of the Rings? Thanks.
Bad in Lord of the Rings.
Did you watch Lord of the Rings?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, I know Lord of the Rings very well. Well, one of the most layered... See, I try not to deal with good and bad. There's good and bad in everyone.
Oh, you're such a hobbit.
Thank you. The bad side of and I know I've already dealt with Gollum in my one, but I do love that layering of the good and bad in Gollum, and I think it's certainly to the fore in the first trilogy. I love that, there's the complicated side of Gollum, the fact that you don't really know if he is a goodie or a baddie, but when he is a baddie, he's so... It's not outright evil, but it's not just mischief either. It's properly dangerous and quite nasty and horrible. Yeah. But I like the fact that you would have a back and forth with him, because he's quite smart, Gollum. He's a clever being, and nasty as well. But you don't really know what ground you're on with him, do you know what I mean? Because one minute he's being fine and the next minute totally devious.
And he's a character, as someone watching the film, that you really get excited that he's about to come on screen.
Absolutely. I remember the New York premiere of the first Hobbit film. I mean, as soon as the crowd heard that thing, people just cheered and clapped. Yeah.
What was that, Andy Serkis just standing there on the microphone doing it?
He was, he can't help himself. He just wants people to clap wherever he is, and he knows that's the quickest way for them to do it.
I do feel sad for him though, because Peter Jackson's always employing him and putting him in different characters, never looking like he does.
No, and I suppose he even played a cook in King Kong. He played as well as being Kong, he also played a live-action human in that, but it still didn't really look very much like Andy. He had a bloody great moustache and dressed as a chef. I know.
He's got lovely hair as well.
He's one of the loveliest people I've ever met, Andy.
Right, can we have a look now at some of your running and your action scenes?
Yes, please do.
This is an exciting moment from the film.
Leave it, we're in the cellars. You were supposed to be leading us out, not further in. I know what I'm doing. This way. Into the barrels, quickly. Are you mad? They'll find us. No, they won't. I promise you. Please, you must trust me. Look at Just get it. What do we do now? Hold your breath. Hold my breath? What do you mean?
See, I'm going, put the ring on!
Yes, but what would I do then?
I know. Well,
the ring wouldn't help. Being invisible wouldn't help because I'm literally locked in.
You're still there, but I won't say anything, but there is a way that you find to get out.
Yes, I do.
And then it leads into my favourite sequence.
It's amazing, it's amazing. It's one of those examples where, you know what you're filming at the time, but you don't know what it's going to end up. But I didn't know it would end up being as huge a sequence as it has been.
But it's just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know how long it must have taken to film that, and to get the finished product as well with all the CGI.
Oh, God, yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, months and months for the post-production stuff. I mean, I think I was, what happens next may involve me being in water, and that might have taken about a week. Yeah, just a week being sort of soaking wet all day, every day. Yeah.
Wow. I do have a note that I'd like to pass on. If you could, next time you're in Middle-earth, if you could just... It makes me worry as a mum as well. Can you just speak to the town planner and ask them to invent the handrail? There's a lot of steps with no barriers, and I worry that someone's going to fall down and get in trouble.
But that's like New Zealand. New Zealand is like we were sort of 40 years ago. Health and safety hasn't really crept up on New Zealand yet. You can be walking along a sort of cliff face and not a handrail in sight.
Oh my goodness.
Mountain road, sea, 400 foot, certain death. Not a rail. They expect you to use your common sense.
You see, I bet for a kind of a huge production like this, the health and safety forms are about that thick.
Man, yeah, they're
thicker than the script,
thicker
probably.
Than the script, yeah. No, they do look after us. Yeah, they do.
All right. Well, look, thank you so much. It's been brilliant to talk to you about The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug.
Smaug.
There we go.
Think crowd.
Smaug. There we go. It's out in the UK on Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Very lucky for you. Very lucky for you. But just check, if you're anywhere else in the world, just check local listings to find out when it's out. Martin Freeman, thank you.
Thanks, Jenny.